I've always lived this way and I always did business this way. I always want to do it. If people give me the opportunity, I want to do it right. And the primary reason I do that is because I know there's going to be people following me. And if I don't do it well, they may not get an opportunity to do it well.
Hello, this is Marco LaRock. My name is Marco LaRock. I'm the host for Inside the Great Man on Marco LaRock, and I'm so excited for my guest, Mr. Frank Hyde. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good to have you on the show.
Well, it's good to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we've been trying for a while, but I'm glad that we kind of have a set today.
Yeah.
So tell us who's Frank Hyde.
Well, okay, Frank Hayes, professionally, I'm a certified public accountant here in Omaha.
Okay.
I started this firm back in 1983. What we do here is we provide tax, business consulting, audit services, accounting, all kinds of financial related services where people need financial reports done and have financial activities sort of presented for third parties, banks, investors, the IRS, other state and local governments. So our goal is to sit down with clients and help them to become financially successful,
Okay.
and also help them to meet any kind of compliance requirements they may have for reporting. And that's really what we do. As far as myself, I'm originally from Mississippi.
Oh, transplant to Nebraska.
I'm a Southerner. I came to Omaha when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
Graduated from high school here a year later. Attended Creighton University and got my accounting degree and started working first with the Internal Revenue Service right out of college. And then I went to work for a local CPA firm about the size of mine here and learned the trade. And then subsequently started my firm. I have 10 brothers and sisters. I'm next to the youngest. I'm the first to attend college.
Okay.
And
Congrats.
so my dad was a farmer. His dad was a farmer. So I believe that one of the reasons I've been able to do well is that I have a strong work ethic, having been raised on a farm.
Okay.
And there are certain aspects of that that are very beneficial. So that's sort of who I am. I have 2 children and my ex-wife, and she's deceased unfortunately, but my 2 kids, and I have 2 grandkids. So that's pretty much who I am. I believe in entrepreneurship, obviously.
Okay.
I want to make sure that, and when I think of entrepreneurship, it's not just about building wealth for myself, but it's also about helping others who want to join us to become successful in their life, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a professional development and also just a personal standpoint.
Yeah.
So that's what we're about.
What is the main reason you can tell us that made you start this firm?
The main reason I started this firm is because I was one of those people when I was a younger person. I did quite well at school.
Okay.
I was always good at academics.
So you were a genius, huh?
Well, I ain't gonna say a genius. I'll just say I did well. But when I decided to leave, I mentioned earlier that I went to work for the IRS, but I really wanted to work in public accounting. So I decided to go look for a job in public accounting. Even though I had this great track record, I thought I was unable to find a position with a public accounting firm initially.
Yeah.
And so I said to myself, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I decided to stick with it for a while. Finally got the opportunity, joined the firm, I think did really well, and then started my firm. And the reason I started my firm is frankly because I wanted other people like me to have opportunities. And at the time, they didn't have them. And I saw that if I could develop a firm and create it so that it was sustainable and successful, that I could employ other people that look like me and to hopefully give them the sense that there were opportunities in this field, because at the time it didn't appear that there was. But I think that's the primary reason I started. I never really looked to be in business. It was never really a big deal for me. If probably at that time I would have been totally happy working in corporate America, having a job like that. But after I got into it, I just loved it. And since that time, we've employed over 250 people. And I think just that idea of employing people, offering them opportunities, and some of them have left, but they've gone on to better things, so we've helped them to become better people. So that's really the reason I started it.
So of those 250 people, how many are minority? What the percentage, for instance?
The percentage is probably about 35%.
35%.
And that may seem low, but not really in the Midwest, because there's very few people of color that go into CPA, being a CPA. Primarily, we want diversity. We want diversity in so many ways: ethnicity, thought, how people look at things. We just want people to feel like they are welcome here, no matter who they are. Yeah.
Awesome. So your firm is the 10th largest accounting firm, the 4th largest diversity owned. You've been in business for 30 years. You have won many awards yourself, Hall of Fame, of the Omaha Chamber. Can you tell us what have made the success of your firm, and then personally?
For the firm, I think it's cheerleaders. Cheerleaders, yeah. And I know that's you probably don't hear that often. But,
I know.
But over the years, when I first got into the business world, I developed relationships with some very influential people, and they became my cheerleaders. And so when I got into business, they were willing to actively promote my business from me.
That was your secret weapon?
Yeah, it was my secret weapon. And so when I started in business, there were people who would 100% support me. If they saw opportunities for us to do business with an organization that they were familiar with or someone they knew, they would promote that. And then me personally, I would say a strong desire to do something that was given to me. And that is, I believe we're all given opportunities when we're born. And I think if we don't use them, we're sort of letting people down. And so I always want to take what I have, which we're not perfect, but we all have talents and resources that we can take advantage of, is to use them to the best of our ability. That's what drives me.
In your opinion, what is the state of the Black entrepreneurship right now in the U.S. or in Omaha?
Omaha is not good. I'm just going to be honest.
Okay.
Traditionally, Omaha has not been a good place for entrepreneurship as far as African Americans are concerned. It doesn't mean that the city is bad, but the opportunities have not been as significant as they otherwise should be. We've had, in my career, I've seen a number of businesses do quite well, and then they don't sustain themselves. And I think one reason is because the opportunities aren't as great. But the other reason is, I think so many times we have a great idea, but we don't have the foundation to make it work.
Okay.
The other one is capital. Sometimes when you have a good idea, you have to have time to invest and time to allow that to take fruition. Sometimes that capital is not there, and so people aren't able to sustain it. The other reason is young people leave the city. We have a brain drain when it comes to people of color in Omaha, Nebraska. They may live here, but then they leave when they go to college, or they leave after they get out of college and they go elsewhere. We've had over the years a number of people who were brought to Omaha to work for companies, but those individuals in some of the large corporations never developed a foothold in the community. So they saw it as a stop, but not a destination. And so it was a way to get to somewhere else.
As far as the Black entrepreneur that reside here, live here, do business here, what are the key things you may be saying to them to support and encourage them, for instance?
I would say the first thing is have an understanding of what you're good at and what you're not good at.
Okay.
And then try to find ways to supplement the things that you're not good at. See, some people are great salespeople, but they have no idea how to run a business. And what I mean by that, they can go out and tell someone, well, I can do this great job for you. But then when it comes time to making decisions that are internal to the success of the business, they just don't know what to do. So I say, if you don't understand marketing and you want to develop a business, go find someone who can help you with that. If you don't want to deal with finances, it's part of being in business.
Yeah.
But you're a great salesperson. Sell all you want, but find someone to help you do the financial piece. And so many times the people just don't do that. And one of the reasons is they feel like they can't afford it, Well, I've always said you cannot afford it, because if you are interested in the long-term success, you've got to cover all those bases. So how do you decide what's good and what's bad, or what you don't have? You do a business plan, and you ask yourself some very tough questions, and you say, what does it take to be successful in this business? And of those things that it takes, how many of those things did I have?
If you were to be an animal, which one would you be, and why?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me think about that for a minute. That's an interesting question. I would probably be an elephant.
An elephant? Why is that?
Because I don't know if you know this, but elephants have enormous memories.
Okay.
And they live for a very long time. And they learn every single day. And they're quite intelligent animals, because if you ever seen them around their little baby elephants, they act like humans in a way to protect them.
Okay.
When something attacks them, they get together and they fight that off. So I want to be part of a team. I want to be part of a unit. Now, I don't necessarily need to be the leader of the unit, but I want to be an important cog to that, so that the overall unit is protected and it's functioning.
Yeah. If you had a power to make one positive change in the world right now, what would that be?
Oh man, this is the subject. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
I wish more people were willing to learn.
Okay.
I would make it so everyone had a thirst for knowledge, because I think with knowledge we can accomplish so much more. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people aren't smart. What I'm saying is we don't think sometimes beyond what's right in front of us. And a thirst for knowledge forces you to go beyond what's right in front of you. And it also creates in you an opportunity to make greater change.
What would be your advice tip to a young entrepreneur or entrepreneur of color, or to my audience?
I would say be prepared as best you can. I've had 4 jobs in my life. When I came to Omaha, I started in a grocery store. I was a sacker, sacking groceries. Then 2 years later, I went to work for the IRS when I was in high school. Okay, which is odd, but I did it. And then I had a job with a CPA firm, and then I got this job. And every one of those opportunities that came my way, the reason I was able to take them on is I prepared myself for them. So I would say, prepare as best you can, understand what it takes to be successful at any job whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Understand what you need to have to be successful as best you can. And then prepare yourself for it. Don't wait until it's time to do it before you start trying to get ready for it. So always prepare yourself. And then then the opportunities will come. And when they come, then you can take advantage of them. That's what I say to anybody, whether they're an entrepreneur or not, is life offers so much. Take advantage of it. Get prepared for it. We have to focus on where we want to go. Obstacles be damned. We got to focus on that. And if we do that and get prepared for it, we will be successful. And I honestly do believe that.
Thank you so much, Frank. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.